This is Dr. Jonathan Esensten. I'm a physician scientist with a specialty in cell and gene therapy. And today I've been asked to explain cell and gene therapy at 3 increasing levels of difficulty to 3 different people. Cell and gene therapies take living cells and use them as a medicine. And this is really important because those cells can stick around for a long time and have a long-term effect to help patients with certain diseases such as cancer and autoimmunity.
Okay, so hi, I'm Audrey. I'm 11 years old and I'm a rising 6th grader.
I have a question for you. Do you have blood?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Well, first, all humans have blood. That's what they kind of need to live. Since they need to carry oxygen, and you can see it through your veins on your hand, like the blue and the red.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. So, do you know what the different cells are in the blood?
There are white blood cells and red blood cells.
So the red blood cells carry the oxygen. You already knew the answer.
Oh.
And they're the ones that turn red when they have oxygen or turn blue when they don't. But you also have white blood cells. Do you know what they do?
They kill viruses or something like that.
Exactly, yeah. They protect you. They protect you from all kinds of things, including viruses, including bacteria, other sorts of germs. And one of the things they protect you from is from cancer. So some of your white blood cells actually protect you from cancer. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
So sometimes people still get cancer. And one of the ways that you can get rid of the cancer is by getting the white blood cells to do it for you. Because I said they can prevent the cancer, but sometimes they don't. How would you get a white blood cell to get rid of a cancer? What would you do?
I would probably get a lot of just blood in general, because in blood there should be white blood cells, maybe from a donor, or just somehow get cells from anyone's blood.
So that is exactly right. And that's exactly what we do, but we do one more thing, and we teach them something.
Mutate them?
Well, sort of, yeah, you could say it that way, but we teach them what the cancer looks like. How do you teach a white blood cell what the cancer looks like? Show it a picture, say this is it, go get it?
Maybe you could tweak the genetics of it to really effective or aggressive against certain type of cancer you're looking for.
That's exactly what we do. We give it an extra gene. We give those white blood cells an extra gene, and the extra gene allows them to see the cancer, and it allows them to kill the cancer. So you figured it out. I don't think I have anything left to teach you today.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Hamel. I'm an intern at Multiply Labs working on robotic software, and during the school year I'm at Stanford studying electrical engineering and computer science.
So let's talk about these therapies that we're making with robots. So what do you know about them?
I know that they can be very effective at treating some cancers. I think I've heard the term CAR T cell therapy. And I know that they're very expensive to make.
There's one piece that you left out, which is that for the most part, not 100%, but for the most part, each of these drugs, each of these medicines is made with the patient's own blood for that one patient. So it's not like most things where you make a huge batch and you pack it into pills and you give it to thousands of people.
Right.
In this case, it's one batch for one patient. And so that's, I think, what drives a lot of the complexity and the cost in the manufacturing.
I see. Is that called autologous?
Autologous, exactly.
Autologous.
That means that the cells, the blood cells that are used to make the product come from the patient and then go back to the patient.
I see.
A situation where it would come from one person and then go to many people is called allogeneic. So these are immunology terms, and so there are some allogeneic cell therapies in clinical trials, and they may be more important in the future and improve access, but in many cases, autologous therapies have advantages. So in many manufacturing fields, automation, robotics has greatly improved throughput. And this is a field right now where we are living in the pre-industrial revolution, if you will. Small workshops, maybe large, mid-sized firms, essentially making things by hand. Almost impossible to scale up, right? You can get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, but then at some point you just you reach a limit of what is possible to do using the manual methods.
Hello, I'm Sudeshna. I'm a senior scientist at Multiply Labs in the biology department. My background is on molecular or cell biology, and I have studied previously small molecules that can be used for therapeutics, and currently I'm working on cell therapy manufacturing automation.
Sudeshna, tell me about your thoughts. What are the most exciting cell therapies out there right now?
Well, there are definitely like autologous cell therapies that the field has worked upon, and allogeneic cell therapy. But what I am most excited about are the regenerative cell therapies, which is using stem cells to basically cure diseases. One of the diseases which I am specifically interested in is macular degeneration, which has been worked upon a lot in the research setting. But I am pretty excited to see the progress of stem cell therapy in the manufacturing state. So yeah, looking forward for basically research and commercialization of stem cell therapies.
So regenerative cell therapies are a very exciting field right now, where in many cases there are stem cells that are generated from the patient themselves that are then differentiated into a cell type or into a tissue type that is then given back to the patient to replace the cells that they've lost or that they need. So some examples of this right now in clinical trials include giving patients beta cells, autologous beta cells for diabetes, or giving patients autologous retinal pigmented epithelial cells for various diseases of the retina. There are also allogeneic therapies that use iPSC and also induced pluripotent stem cells and human embryonic stem cells, which are derived from embryos. There are many different tissue types that have been generated, cell types that have been generated that could potentially be used for regenerative therapies. Some of these therapies are gene modified, some of them are not. All of them have extremely complex and highly manual manufacturing processes. And certainly this is an area in the development of regenerative therapies that robotic systems, automated systems are going to make a big impact. The common practice in the field is to have a single batch in a single clean room at a time. And there are possibilities of having 2 batches in a single clean room with a changeover, but you're not going to go much higher than that. If you have a process that takes a month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, you can't build enough clean rooms to be able to accommodate the number of patients who would need that therapy. And so you really have to consider decreasing the amount of space required, taking it out of the clean room, and using robots instead of human hands, because that's the only way that such a therapy could be effectively scaled out. But certainly for the autologous stem cell-based therapies, making enough batches is a major challenge. In some locations, you don't even have the ability to send to a lab for QC testing. Much of the world does not have access to complex cell therapies, approved cell therapies that are available in developed nations. And so having an automated closed system, a robotic system that can manufacture cell therapies could actually democratize access, because these systems could be placed in parts of the world where there's not a big pharmaceutical manufacturing infrastructure, but the robot can have in a self-contained way everything that you need, including potentially the QC testing. So this is something that is very appealing to me, since one of the sad parts of the development of these new drugs is that they can help so many people, but so many people just don't have access, even if they would benefit from them.
Exactly,
So I think by improving the manufacturing process, decreasing costs, that will also improve access. Cell and gene therapies is an enormous field with the possibility to treat many different diseases with very complex and diverse biology behind it. And so we really need in improving our manufacturing processes and our manufacturing technologies to understand that complexity and to build our manufacturing systems to be able to handle that complexity. So if today we can make CAR T cells using a robot very efficiently, that's great, but that's just the beginning. And there is, you know, an enormous potential for other sorts of cell types, other sorts of therapies to be manufactured using automated robotic systems. So that's, the sky's the limit, really.